Before you go out and spend your money on something like these right here, you better make sure you know what you're getting into. Do your research, because it can cost you. When it comes to bearing protection, this can be your best buddy, but it also can be your worst enemy. You are the one responsible for making sure you know how this is supposed to operate and how to properly do the maintenance on it so that it will work and not cost you the big bucks. But if you overlook how this is installed, the proper maintenance, whether it's this brand or several different others out there, it can cause catastrophic failure. We're going to talk about how to properly use it. I'm going to tell you about how I see it used, and then towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you my 2 cents worth on bearing protection. A lot of your newer trailers are going to come with some type of easy lube style system, whether that's a Dexter, Lippert, any of the other brands out there. A lot of them are going to have that, so you may not need bearing protection. It may already be integrated, and we have videos on that. Where we see this used a lot is on maybe an older trailer. If you pick one up used, or maybe you've got one that's been, laying around that you want to do something, maybe you need to pack your bearings and you think, hey, this will be easier, this will save me some time and some money, and it could or it couldn't. Like I said, depends on how it's utilized. But so we see it mainly used on older stuff, and we see it used in the marine industry. Now, when it comes to the marine industry, as in our videos, I'm a big fan if you're running a grease system and not using a hybrid oil. I am a fan of a bearing protection system like this, because it will keep that positive pressure, depending on manufacturer, about 3 psi of pressure in there that's going to help keep the water out. And that's really what you're looking for when you get those hubs warm, especially if you're running a disc brake setup and maybe you're traveling a ways to the lake. You get them warm and you back into that water, it wants to create a vacuum and suck water into that hub. But with some type of bearing protection system like this, it keeps positive pressure in there that's going to keep the water out. This is a bearing buddy here. This actually has a pressure relief system built into it so that you can't over grease. I really like that. I really like the way these are built, what they're constructed out of. I've seen some of these on the road that, as long as you keep them clean and utilized, I've seen them on the road that are 10, 15, maybe even older than that are still in good shape, and they will usually last the life of the trailer if properly maintained. If you're in a saltwater environment a lot, you need to make sure that you are running a stainless steel setup, and you may even get some corrosion on the stainless if you're not neutralizing that salt with some type of salt neutralizer. These can be beneficial. Unfortunately though, the norm, we see them a lot on utility trailers, and I think a lot of the time you don't necessarily need one in a utility trailer, and when they are installed on that utility trailer, they're not utilized correctly. I'm going to show you the first and probably the most common mistake of when this is installed, how basically you're just throwing your money away when you do it this way. So here we have a used trailer. This is our little baby, I don't know, it's an 8 foot, I think. It's tiny. I cannot tell you when the last time the bearings have been packed on this. It may be a while, it may be recent, I have no idea, but most people, that's what they do. And they'll get a used trailer, whether it's one they purchased or they already have, and say, you know what, I seen these online, or I seen these in a parts store, that looks pretty handy dandy, I'm gonna put that on my trailer so I can just pack my bearings, not to tear it down. So you're gonna grab your channel locks, pop that cap. That grease in there looks amazing. Looks brand new in about 1982. Then you're going to take your bearing buddy or your bearing protector of your choice, a good block of wood. That block of wood was probably cut about the same time those bearings were packed, it looks like. Just going to give a little tappity tap. And that's it. Bearing buddy installed. Now all you gotta do is put some grease. I'm gonna grab my grease gun. I'm gonna show you how to complete this installation. I don't always use a manual grease gun, but when I do, I use my lock and lube. There's no saying a little do a little good, a lot do a lot of good. So as you're pumping this, it's gonna be hard to pick up on camera, but that inner disc has a spring on the outside of it that will start to come out. You see it burp a little bit there. You really want to do this by jacking your trailer up and spinning the wheel while you're doing this. That will help. I can tell you most people don't do that because that takes extra work. As you can see it coming there, it's starting to come out. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. So when you see the grease coming out there, that doesn't mean you've messed anything up. You're okay. You can move that around. So it still has some air in it. So it's not complete yet. You really need to, this needs to come out until you can't push that in easily. It has a little rock. If you're using the Bearing Buddy system, they have very detailed and simple instructions. You need to follow those. But like I said, really you should have this jacked up. Spin the hub while you're doing it. That's just gonna help you burp any air that's out. So usually it gets to this and that's it. And the next time this is greased is about 2 months down the road. We're fixing to take a trip. This is what happens. Let me go get my other special gun if I can find it. And this is what we usually see. We see people that travel, whether that's, you know, with their travel trailer or RV, they carry pneumatic grease gun or electric grease gun. Put that on. Just gonna give it a few pumps. And you'll notice we even put some red grease with the blue. We don't like to discredit any colors of grease. We just mix them all, right? Are you supposed to do that? Absolutely not. You're not supposed to mix your greases. I will tell you the first one we put in, this green one is a marine grease. This one here is a Mystic high temp red grease. Now what kind of grease did we have before? It was black and dirty. I have no idea what kind of grease it was. And there is the first mistake. So the way we've installed this, even if we didn't use the electric grease gun, just with the manual, we've taken any warranty away that we're gonna have with the Bearing Buddy, because we did drive it on correctly. We followed the instructions there. We even topped it off with grease correctly. But for you to get the correct life out of these, for them to work properly, it either has to be on a brand new trailer that you have brand new grease in and you know what type of grease you're running in it. And you can't just go off of color. You may need to get with the manufacturer to see if they're using, you know, using a Lube plate, or if they're using a Mystic, whatever it is, because you don't want to mix the greases. But if you have old grease and old bearings and you put a new Bearing Buddy on there, you have no idea what you've got internally. So in their instructions, they're going to tell you this is to be installed on either inspected, so completely torn down, washed of all grease and debris, cleaned out, visually inspected, or brand new parts. So if you were putting a new hub on, new bearings, new races, all that, you would be good to go. You know what kind of grease, but it's not to be mixed with old grease. But that's probably the biggest mistake that we see made. Just add these on there, hammer them on, pump some grease in them, and we're good to go to infinity and never worry about it again. These are labeled as a maintenance-free product. You know my feelings on maintenance-free. There's very little in this world that's maintenance-free. It's like a free puppy. If you think puppies are free, just go get you 6 or 7 of them and see. What they're gonna recommend on this is to at least check it annually. So if you're running a boat trailer or something, I'm gonna recommend that you check it maybe every trip or every other trip, unless it's maybe a short trip, maybe you live close to the lake and you're just putting in. If you're running a utility trailer, I'm gonna say minimum 1 time of the year, you're gonna need to top it off with grease. But if you're running it a lot, I'm gonna recommend you may check it on your walk around, at least check it monthly or something like that. But the question gets asked, well, how often do I have to pack my bearings? With this setup, there is no bearing pack recommendation. Now it's a decision you're gonna have to make. You're gonna need to do some research and see what conclusion you come to on that. This states that you can go about 5 years before you really need to do a bearing inspection, that it's good to go because it's keeping positive pressure. And I will say on paper, if everything is great, if you've checked it on a regular basis, you've kept the proper amount of grease, you have not used a pneumatic or electric grease gun and blown the seal out, if you're running a brake setup and you have not overheated the brakes, you may could do that. For me, that's stretching a little bit. So at 5 years, you're to tear this down to a full visual inspection. Now I will tell you, there's people that run this stuff that claim they've went 5+ years and tear it down. Now how many miles they pull, I have no idea. They may be very great with their maintenance. You know as well as I do, some of you that are listening, some of you are great with maintenance and some of you just drive it until the wheels fall off. It takes all of us to make the world go round. For my peace of mind, I'm still gonna do an annual, whether I'm running a bearing protector of no matter what brand, whether it's a Kodiak as we have here, Bearing Buddy, some of the import knockoffs, I'm still gonna do an annual full tear down, manual clean out visual inspection, manual repack, then I'm gonna put it back together. Some bearing manufacturers today, some actual manufacturers state that you can go 25,000 miles. Most manufacturers on their bearings are gonna give you a 1-year warranty. Some of the Easy Lube, Never Lube systems, some of them out there say that they do a 5-year warranty, but it's very limited. If you read the fine print, most of the time, if you have a failure, it's not gonna be covered under warranty. I know that because I have to deal with warranty, unfortunately. The biggest responsibility of bearing protection really falls on you. As the owner, as the operator of it, you are the bearing protector. Whether you're using some type of system, a certain type of grease, certain type of grease gun, whatever maintenance interval, you're ultimately liable and responsible for proper bearing maintenance inspection. So if there's a product out there that's gonna help you, that's gonna save you some time, hey, I'm all for it. But don't waste your time and money if you're not going to do it. Your average person is gonna put this on, they're gonna pump some grease in it, here and there, and gonna forget about it and just go. When they will remember it is when, hey, you're getting ready to take that trip and you go out and say, oh my goodness, the wheel is about to fall off of this, or you've had some other catastrophic failure, you may be on the road when that happens. But if you're gonna use a bearing protector, make sure you do a full tear down if it's a used trailer or it has any miles on it, because you don't know what type of grease it's got in it, and you don't have any idea of the condition of the bearings, and you also don't know what type of seal it's got. If it's an older unit, they may be using a single lip seal in the back. That is not gonna hold the pressure of the 3 PSI that most of these require to hold. You're at least gonna need to use a double lip seal. Bearing Buddy even has some nice seals that you can buy for some hub applications that go along with their Bearing Buddy that is a very high quality seal that you're gonna use. In the marine industry, you see bearing protection like this, then you see some oils and some other types of screw-on caps. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. There is a place for it, but more than not, when it comes to utility trailers, it's stuff like this that we actually see that costs the consumer money. And it's not that it's a bad product. It really has nothing to do with the product. It really has to do with the consumer and the user abusing the product or not following the instructions. Like I said, Bearing Buddy specifically has great instructions. They even have some videos, I believe, that you can check out. So make sure you do your homework before you go out and spend your money. You're gonna spend anywhere from 25 bucks to 30, 40 bucks, depending on the size of axle you have and the application you're gonna need. But don't use it if you're not gonna use it correctly. You're just wasting your time. If you're gonna do that, just don't do anything. Just leave your regular old cap on it and just hope for the best. Maybe you're a gambler, maybe you win big. Not me. If I take a trip of any sort, even if I pack my bearings, I usually take me some extra bearings, extra hub, brake assembly, that kind of stuff, if you're watching our videos, because I don't want to have to rely on somebody if I do have a breakdown, because sometimes even if you do everything you can do, there may still be some type of failure. You may have got your brakes too hot. You may have got the hub too hot for whatever reason. So just make sure whether you're doing bearing protection like this or bearing protection for something else, make sure you do it correctly. Make sure do all your homework before you spend any money on that, because we want to keep you rolling down the road. We don't want you to have a breakdown. That may be crazy to say from a service shop. I will tell you, I'd rather work on your stuff for general PM than when it comes in tore all to pieces. I have one in here right now that lost some oil out of a hub. It wasn't checked, and it cost a 10,000 pound axle just for about $2 worth of oil. You're gonna spend a couple $1,000s on an axle. I hate to see that for the customer. Yes, it does bring work in, but it's little maintenance things like that can cost you big bucks. It's little maintenance things like this that can cost you big bucks if not used properly. As with any other maintenance-free product, when we put it out of sight, out of mind, we put it in that box, kick it under the bed and forget about it, that's when it comes to bite us in the butt and cost us money. So just because it's maintenance free doesn't mean for the life of whatever you're towing, doesn't mean that you don't have to put hands on it. You have to do what you're supposed to do, familiarize yourself with whatever product you have, and just because it's maintenance free doesn't mean at some point you're not going to replace it or even do some maintenance on it. So I don't know why they call it maintenance free. Tighten your lug nuts, make sure that you do proper grease pack, proper grease maintenance, proper bearing protection if you're going to use a bearing protection system, and keep on rolling down the road so we can see you down the road.